Good morning and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. My name is Judith and today is March 21st. We're going to go walk down to the local historic cemetery and take care of my son and in-law's memorial garden. It's only a 10-minute walk from home. This beautiful redbud tree is always the first to flower. This historic cemetery is a garden cemetery. It was established in the 1800s, designed to be used like a park. At that time, the city didn't have any public parks. Families would come and picnic, plant flowers, and spend all day here. This used to be the edge of town. I love this glass greenhouse. Our memorial garden is way at the back in the new area. People are still encouraged to come here walking, bring their dogs, ride their bikes, and run. They like this cemetery to be used. It's also a good place to come birding. In May, they'll set out beautiful flowers in all these various planters. It was set up in 1852, but the local churches had run out of space in their cemeteries. They moved over here, so we have graves from the 1700s. This is so beautiful. It's also one of the first to flowers. This new area has lots of flowering trees. They're just not yet in bloom. Do you see the tulips and daffodils coming up? There's quite a bit in this area. When they're finished blooming, they'll just get mowed down. People are still growing flowers here. I have some daffodils planted over at our garden. A friend wanted to honor Dale's mother, and I thought of planting daffodils. I know the leaves are up. We'll see if they're flowering yet. I'm going to work on 3 things today: edging. The grass tends to creep in. Pruning off the dead winter growth from the snapdragons. And weeding. I don't know if I have time to get it all done. Right now it's 8:15. I need to clean up by 10 to get back home for lunch with Dale. He's gotten together with his friends this morning. I'm going to narrate the video all at once so I don't have to stop working, take off my gloves, etc. Then I'll edit in the narration between my working clips. The far bench is our son, the next to youngest, who passed away at 29 years old in 2021. I wanted him near home so I could come, plant a garden, and keep mothering him. It's special to me. It's my way of still showing him love. 3 days before Dell's surgery, his mother unexpectedly passed away in her sleep. She was 90. They had agreed before she died to bury her here with his father, so his mom and dad are together. We have 3 family members here. The daffodils are planted at all 4 corners. I planted them in the fall, September or October. This is their first year to grow. The snapdragons along my in-laws bench, I planted in the fall also in 2025. And I grew those from seed. The variety is Tall Max Blend. It's an heirloom. Here in north central Maryland, growing zone 6B, 7A, snapdragons, especially the roots, can survive. It looks like the ones on this side did. Typically we get down to 5 degrees, but we can get below 0. But you have to trim back the dead growth come spring. That's one plant. All of these were new last fall in 2025. I purchased these pansy plants in the fall of 2025 and planted them mid-September when I planted out the snapdragons. And pansies do great over winter. Ice, snow, it doesn't matter. They'll survive. And I've learned when I grow pansies from seed, I do best planting them in the fall, not the spring. They survive the winter and they really start to explode and bush out when spring hits. These will do the same thing. The snapdragons in front of my son's bench, I planted in the fall of 2024. I grew them from seeds, an heirloom variety called Cherry Twist. And that's when I learned they would survive the winter, or it's possible that they could. So I planted them in the fall, and they came back last spring, and they were beautiful. They bloomed for a long time. They didn't stop until the middle of summer. I cut them down. They grew back again last fall, and now this second spring, we'll see. I don't know if they're going to grow. I don't see any growth yet, but maybe some seeds have self-sown. This will be a learning experience. If you want to grow snapdragons from seeds, you have to start them 6 to 12 weeks before your last frost, indoors. In my experience, 12 weeks is best. 6 is not enough time. You probably don't have enough time this year to start snapdragons, but if you're watching this video later, remember, 6 to 12 weeks before your last frost, start your seeds indoors. Snapdragons need light to germinate, so don't cover them thickly with soil. The seeds are tiny. I sprinkle them on moistened soil and press them in, then cover them with a greenhouse stone. They require 12 to 14 days to germinate, so be patient. You're going to have to thin them later because they're going to be really thick. If you want large plants, you're going to have to thin them down. I have videos of growing snapdragons from seed, so I'll add a link in the video description. Click on more. We picked this spot for my son because it had a large tree that unfortunately was diseased. It's whatever tree in Maryland dying off from disease. I think ash. Last year or 2 years ago, they planted this new tree, a Kwanzaa cherry tree. It will make a beautiful double blossom pink flower, hopefully this year, but it does have buds on it. Let me show you. It looks healthy. Snapdragons are a cool weather flower. They prefer temperatures of 40 to 70 degrees, but honestly, I was surprised how long they lasted into the summer. It's best to plant them 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost. So you still have time here in North Central Maryland if you go buy some plants. If you're growing snapdragons from seed, when the plants have 4 to 6 leaves, pinch the stems back by half. It'll help them to bush out. If you want to grow pansies from seeds, I find it best to start them indoors under lights in the summer. To plant in fall, not to plant in the spring. I tend to sow them at the end of June, and by September, they're ready to plant out. They need that long to grow. Most people just buy plants, but I love saving seeds. I normally grow myself, but last year I didn't have enough time. I grow Swiss Giant Blend, but pansies come in so many different varieties. Both snapdragons and pansies do best in full sun. You will get the biggest plants. Pansies can handle some shade. Both like to be planted apart 6 to 12 inches. They can get really large. In the fall, they're going to be small, but in the spring, they're really going to grow. Do you see the stems from last year's snapdragons? They're quite large. I love the 2 benches. I knew I didn't want traditional headstones. I didn't want this to be a sad place. The director, he recommended benches, and they're just perfect. And it was the same cost. We owned 3 plots. We started with this one where the tree was. That gave us a little bit extra elbow room. Then later we purchased the 2 next to it. So we have 3 on this side, and recently we signed a contract to purchase the 3 behind us. I didn't want to be crowded. I wanted a lot of space for the garden. So there's names on the front, but we can also put names on the back of the benches, so we don't need to add any more benches. This is perfect for us. Pansies are the opposite from snapdragons. The seeds need dark to germinate. Just simply means to cover them up with soil. They require 10 to 20 days, just like snapdragons, a lot of time to germinate. And they like temperatures 65 to 70 to germinate. And that's like inside the house, under lights, or on a heat mat. If you want to grow pansies in the fall, they need to be ready to be planted 6 weeks before your first frost. So you have to sow your seed 6 weeks before that. I have much more success planting pansy transplants in the fall than in the spring. Time for me to go. I'm not going to film my walk home. That'll slow me down too much. Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.